All right. Well, what is up, guys? I am here, Wise Al. That is my alias name. My real name is Al Brown. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I've pretty much been an entrepreneur. I want to say most of my life. I think I was an entrepreneur before I even knew it. A lot of people, just based on like the stuff I was interested in, would tell me that that's pretty much in a nutshell who I was becoming, so to speak. So pretty much from the age of like 15, I first got started in entrepreneurship by starting, well really I was interested in shoes. And it's kind of funny because I want to show you guys here the type of business model I used to run really quick without going into too much, but it's kind of funny. So I don't know if any of you guys know about these shoes, but these are Nike SBs. These are the Tiffany Nike SBs, and a lot of the shoe heads out there, they kind of know what these are and whatnot. Never been worn, right? They kind of know, what those shoes are. And so, long story short, back in the day, people used to be into these shoes and Jordans and whatnot. So what I used to do is I used to be into them as well. I would go buy them when they first came out, when they released them. Usually when they released them, you can kind of get them at retail price. And people would wait outside of like Foot Locker, Foot Action, all the major stores for these shoes to come out so they can get them at the retail price. And what we would do was we would go and resell these shoes later on, let's say 2, 3, 4 months from now, when the store no longer had any pairs, because the stores only got so many pairs that they can actually sell to customers. So they would run out of pairs so quickly. And what we would do is we would go and resell them on eBay. So if you want to say so, the first platform I ever got started on was eBay. Okay, so I would go and I also would buy stuff that I saw on eBay for really, really, really cheap. And I would sell and make a profit to people that I knew that would pay more for that hype, if you will, because that's pretty much what made the value of the shoes go up. So pretty much when these came out, these were about $80. Now, if you look them up, I don't even know, because I don't even really collect them anymore like that, but they're kind of similar like the Yeezys and whatnot, like what's happening with those. So like when these came out, they're only like $80-$90, right? And now if you go look them up, they're probably close to $1,000. I don't know if they're still that high, but they were. I think they dropped off a little bit down to about like $600. But back in the day, these were like $1,000 shoes, right? There were no Yeezys around. It was just the Nike Tiffany SBs. And there was a couple other pairs that were like super dope that I was never able to actually get a hold of just because they were so rare. But so that was kind of like my first endeavor in entrepreneurship, was running this little shoe business. So what I would do is I would kind of go to these events. They were pretty much like trade shows, if you will, if you're looking at it from a business perspective. And what everybody would do is they would bring their collection and they would, either show it off, or find people who were interested in buying whatever they had that they wanted to sell or trade. So I pretty much would go to those exchanges, and then eBay. I pretty much started a small business at a very young age. Now, mind you, I actually wanted to work at like 15 years old, and my very first job was actually at Adventure City. For those who actually know the area and whatnot, it's this little theme park like right next to Knoxbury Farm. And I remember I was like so eager to work. That was the only place that would hire me at 15. So I was like eager to make my own money from a very young age. And I remember I got hired at Adventure City. I went, did the interview, I got hired. I even got my friend a job, and I worked there for about a month or so, I think. And then, being that it was part-time and I was so young, they pay you like basically nothing. So I was thinking, I was like, $100 or go hang out and play with my friends, right? So it was like, at that time, my priorities were different. So I was like, you know what, I'll just go hang out and play with my friends. So it's kind of funny. I actually never went to go pick up like the second paycheck because I knew it was such a small amount. I think the first one kind of like really turned me off. I just, I just at that point, I knew that that wasn't going to be the path that I was going to take. So I just, just started really I don't know, I was just bored one day and I just was looking at my closet and I was like, and I just realized that there was this opportunity, and I just figured out how to tap into it. And and it's funny because I actually accumulated about 40 pairs. That may not seem like a lot, but like back then, you know, it started from nothing, and I didn't have a job or anything. I just kind of was relying on like birthday presents and gifts and whatnot to be able to actually get the shoes, because I didn't have any money. And I would actually save my lunch money. I wouldn't even eat lunch some days. I would actually just like bring my lunch and then save my lunch money so I can actually buy shoes. And what I would do is I would wear them. And the cool thing about these type of shoes too is you could actually wear them, and then you can go and sell them still for more than what you paid. So it was like kind of like a crazy, you know, business, resale business that was just like unheard of for the time. So in a nutshell, I sold my collection about 2 years ago, and I made close to like $2 or $3 grand. So, and that was just fire selling. Like I wasn't even selling at like the actual price that the shoes were worth. I was kind of just like just fire selling them just because I had to get rid of a bunch of stuff. I had like way too much crap that I accumulated, and I just kind of wasn't really into the shoe scene. But I did manage to keep like the holy grails, as we call it, like the Tiffany's, like the great Jordans, Jordan 5s, a couple other pairs that I kept just because I knew that they were like one of those pairs of shoes I had to wait out, like camp outside like overnight for, and I was like, there's no way I'm getting rid of these. These are like, you know, so precious to me. So, and I've never worn them. Like these two, if you look at the bottom of them, these are brand new, and I've never ever worn them. And these shoes are probably almost 10 years old, and I've never ever worn them one single time. I don't think I've ever even put them on my foot. Like if you look, you can see the tissue still in there. You know how like certain enthusiasts will collect like comic books, or they'll collect, you know, toy figures, and they'll be all specific about it being in this packaging. Well, that was me for shoes. So the reason why I'm kind of telling you this is just to say that you can pretty much get started in being an entrepreneur, almost doing anything. And really, I think for certain people, it happens kind of naturally. Like you don't even really say, oh, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, and then you just do it. It's kind of just like you're just doing whatever comes natural in a sense. So that's kind of how I got started. Okay. And then mind you, fast forward 10, 12 years later, I kind of, you know, right now in Los Angeles, the real estate market is like really, really hot. Okay. So I just kind of, you know, had always been, from a kid, I've always kind of been interested in real estate. And, you know, it just kind of, I don't know, I just hit like a point in my life where I was just trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. And I knew that I was good at business, clearly, because I had started this and another small little t-shirt company. And I knew that I was going to do something in business, but I didn't know exactly what. And I was just sitting around one day, and I was actually watching that show, $1 Million Listing, and I just seen how cool, you know, the lives were that those agents had. And I just thought, like, wow, I didn't actually know that being an agent is actually that cool. So I kind of jumped into it. You know, people first not knowing what the hell to expect. They tell you certain things to kind of anticipate when you first get started, but I just kind of really didn't have the luxury to have certain things that they were saying that you kind of need to have. So I just dove into it. I think I had like $1,500 was all I had, dove into it. And pretty much, let's see, I've been in it for about 3 years now, and I've done well over 6 figures a year in that business, and pretty much built it on $1,500. So that's pretty much my main thing. That's what I do now is real estate. I know it like the back of my hand. So a lot of the content that you'll see on the channel is going to be kind of geared towards real estate, but it's going to be more about entrepreneurship, because right now I'm actually, it's kind of funny, I'm actually, and a lot of the greats will tell you this, but there comes a time when I believe in multiple streams of income, but it just comes a time where you want to not necessarily transition, but I would say put a foot in another pond. And you know, if you were to look at it from an analogy standpoint, but I just kind of want to put my foot in a different pond and just you know, explore the whole online, making money online pretty much. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. So the channel is going to be kind of catered to real estate and making money online, because I know the two kind of go hand in hand. And right now I'm just kind of seeing that those are like the two big things that are like taking people to the stratosphere right now. So that's what the channel is going to be about. And I'll be honest, you know, online right now, I haven't really made much yet online, but I'm still kind of learning it. I set up, you know, a Shopify store. I did that. Really, what wound up happening was I kind of just looked and just saw like, okay, what are people doing right now online? So everything from affiliate, from even Kindle book publishing, that was like, wow, that was a couple years ago. I was looking at that, but I never got into that because I just didn't really see how you can make that much from it. Kindle book publishing. I was even looking at Amazon FBA. I also was looking at a couple other ways you can sell online, but everybody knows there's only like really 12 ways. It's one of the other new ones. God, I can't even think right now. But there's only a couple ways you can really sell online. Now, recently there's been something trending online. I'm not going to say exactly what just yet, but there's been something trending that I've kind of been following, just kind of not like passively, just kind of following it. I wasn't really, it's not something that I'm like into, but I'm just watching and kind of seeing other people have success with it. And I'm trying to figure out a way how people can get started in it with literally having like no money up front. But they'll obviously have to have some money, but the way it's going to be structured, like it looks like they have more money than they really have in a sense, but it's I'll save that for future videos and whatnot. But it's kind of like this whole new industry in selling online that I've literally discovered just like 3 or 4 days ago. So I'll kind of be talking a little bit more about that, and whatnot over the course of the month of November. And